Good afternoon. Welcome to Local Sports Wrap-Up. I'm Ken Brown, and I have the privilege of being here with Joel Atkins. I left the odds off this time.
That's okay. Whichever.
Yeah. How's it go?
Not bad. I want to warn the viewers that if my glasses break, don't be concerned. I just keep putting them back together.
Okay. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess I'd be remiss if we didn't get a chance to tell our sweethearts Happy Valentine's Day. Today's February the 14th, 2023. So I'd like to tell my wife, Chantel, Happy Valentine's Day. Please be my Valentine.
Look at you sucking off.
Yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning here.
Okay, fine. I'll tell Shirley Happy Valentine's Day because I don't want to be in the doghouse.
That's right.
So.
But no, it's good. We got a chance to get out and come in and hook up for Valentine's Day. And we had Man's Day was Sunday. So
yeah.
It was Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
So now this is Women's Day. How'd your Man's Day go?
But you know as well as I do, when you're in a relationship, there's no man's days. No, especially when there's kids. There's no such thing. Although it went okay. Very enjoyable game. Could not have hoped. I mean, if you're looking for a shootout, you got a shootout. Interesting game. Kind of tale of two halves. You and I had talked previously, last week on the show. I'm a Chiefs fan, but that Eagles D, I wasn't sure the Chiefs could overcome it. And, man, that second half, they really sliced it all up.
Yeah, they scored every drive in the second half.
And I don't know about you. Obviously, the players have to execute, but I think a guy like Andy Reid, he saw that first half. It's like, okay, we're down 10. And then he out-coached Philly's head coach badly in that second half.
Yeah. And I think it kind of got, it was more evident when we got to that play, first when he hit Tony on, and then he hit Sky Moore on the exact same play. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they got a glitch in it. As soon as he goes in motion, that guy goes and nobody comes back out.
I saw a little clip. So they showed the clip of Tooney's touchdown, and it was an interview with Andy Reid, Chiefs head coach. Some reporter was like, what do you guys call that? You know what Andy Reid said? He goes, call it the corn dog. And the reporter goes, yeah, but that's not what Mahomes actually says. And I goes, yeah, he calls corn dog. Apparently. So if you watch the Super Bowl, you know what play we're talking about. Yeah. Corn dog.
Yeah, corn dog's a good one. It's definitely a good one. And it's one of my favorites when we go to the carnival or anything like that. So a little mustard on it. Yeah, no, they definitely, it was the outcome that I wanted. And I think for any fan, it was old school, like close. You know, and they talked a lot about penalty at the end, but I think they had to call it.
Yeah, it was definitely a borderline penalty. I mean, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
But as, as somebody, like, I'm a Chiefs fan, but, I'm not like dyed-in-the-wool, like, hometown team. Watching it, had they let it go, I wouldn't have been, up in arms about it.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's just, technically, was it a penalty? Yeah. Could they have let it go? Yeah. But, they caught that one.
Yeah. And I think that the guy that was the coolest was the Bradbury guy that they called it on, where he took every interview and every defender on the Chiefs, on the Eagles were like, no, we're not. He talked about it. He was like, it was a penalty. It was on me. I shouldn't have did it. Yeah. And I was like, wow, he's a stand-up dude. Hopefully he gets paid. I think he's a free agent this year. But I think for an NFL fan, sports fan, or just a person that only watches for the Super Bowl, they got a good game.
Oh, yeah.
38-35,
it was a show. Yeah.
What about on the hardwood for the Wyandotte?
We got plenty of scores. We're going to start with boys or girls here?
Girls, ladies first. Right. It's Valentine's Day. Ladies first. What other way will we go?
Line those P's and Q's.
Even though none of us have red on. Anyway.
There you go.
All right.
Go ahead and take it, Ken.
Okay, look at the Lady Bears. They beat Taylor 36-33. That's a great game. It's similar to the Super Bowl, 3-point spread on there. Yeah. We got Dearborn beating their rival, Dearborn Edsel Ford, 62-11.
That's a rough one.
Wow, that's tough to sit through. Mm-hmm. And then it's the Lady Carlson, 51. That's Gibraltar Carlson. And then you got Lincoln Park with 36. That's not that close either. 15. And then you got Allen Park, 48, Southgate, 15.
Southgate's team, it seems week after week, we're seeing scores like that.
Yeah. They're struggling a little bit. Good part is the Bears got off the snide. And those wins and losses, does it tell us, do we have an idea what their record is in the conference now?
Yeah, so the Downriver basketball standings, girls, you got Trenton on top at 11-1, followed by Allen Park at 10-3, then Woodhaven at 9-4, Taylor at 7-6, then Roosevelt 6-5, followed by Carlson, Edsel Ford, and Lincoln Park rounds it out at the bottom at 2-10.
Now, mind you, those ladies are getting ready. It's good that Wyandotte got the win, and those other teams are getting warmed up to try to catch Trenton, because districts are going to start on February 27th, and it looks like they're going to probably run it through March 1st, and then there'll be the district finals on the 1st or the 3rd, and then regionals will be the following week, March 7th through 9th. So quicker than we know, March Madness is upon us.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that the good news is that they're winning. They're putting some wins together, and if they can continue to get a few in a row, that's all you got to do. One at a time, a few in a row. And
yeah, it's that time of the year, and we talked last week. Being one of those middle of the pack teams, it's not so bad.
No.
Because the pressure's not on you. It's on those teams like Trenton and Allen Park, who have these sterling records. But the problem with having one of those best records, especially if they're undefeated or one loss, you may have already peaked.
Yes.
Or maybe you've just faced no adversity. Whereas middle of the pack team, they might just be hitting their stride. Maybe they're just getting healthy.
Yeah.
That's not a bad place to be.
No, I agree with you 100%, and I think they are in the catbird seat when they're not sitting at the top, because you're right, it's less pressure, so I can come in kind of unnoticed, right? Hopefully, like you say, hitting all strides, and then anything can happen, especially we've seen these kids shooting threes and all that, so if you have one bad night,
I mean, I love a dark horse. Show me some long odds on a reasonable pick, and I'm in.
Yeah.
And I think the Lady Bears may have themselves in that kind of position.
No, that'd be great. That'd be great. Now on the boys' side, it was a little different, right? They Wyandotte did get the dub, so Wyandotte wins over Taylor 49-45. Which is a good game, and we know they deserve that one. Lincoln Park, they kept their pace in their 51-34 shellacking of Carlson. Allen Park and Southgate, 58-56. That's a good game. Buzzer beater looks like. And then on February 10th, Woodhaven actually beat Trenton 60-46, and then Gabriel Richard beat Shrine. Royal Oak Shrine, that is.
Okay.
Yeah, 74-32.
That's a rough one.
They beat the crap out of Shrine. So, no, that's good. So, Wyandotte gets to win. So all of that hard work, all the things that they've been working on all year finally culminate from when me, you, and Neil were there.
Yeah.
They've turned the page big time, and they go ahead and they go to get the dub. What are those standings looking like?
Woodhaven at the top at 11-0, perfect record, followed by Lincoln Park at 8-2, then Allen Park at 7-4, then you've got Carlson and Edsel Ford both at 4-7, Trenton and Roosevelt both at 3-7, Anderson at 2-8.
So the team, you said it was two at 4-7. Who's the one that's right above 4-7?
Allen Park 7-4.
So they're the dark horse. They kind of got to be, right? 7-4, they kind of, right? Because the 4-7, you're not counting them as the dark horse.
No, I almost kind of. I mean, Woodhaven's at 11-0, clearly the class of the division, and then you've got. This is a situation where I'm like, I don't know that there is a dark horse.
Okay.
You could look at it almost like, and it's not even quite the three-headed monster because Allen Park does have the 4 losses. But it looks like you've got one team clearing away the best in the division. Then you've got 2 solid teams, Lincoln Park and Allen Park. And then it kind of looks like everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a 3-win gap between 3rd and 4th place.
Oof. I hope, because we got Lincoln Park at what, 8-2? I thought you said
Lincoln Park, yeah, 8-2. Yep.
8-2. I'm like you, that I like a dog, right? An underdog a little bit. So I would love to see if they could get an upset over Woodhaven somehow down the line. But the Bears, they still got a little chance, but maybe they concentrate on getting a couple wins, putting a couple together, and then we'll have more information from them. But
that can change things quick. You string, several wins together, all of a sudden, things start to look up real fast.
Yeah, that's right. I think fast approaching too. We talked about districts. Now the boys have an additional week. So how they do it with the district basketball is the girls start a week earlier, and then the boys come in the following week. So when boys start districts March 8th, and it's the 8th through the 10th, and then their regionals are the 13th through the 15th. But that being said, they have a couple more weeks to get some tune-ups, get some really good practices in before that starts. Everything's fast approaching. Bowling's regional is actually next week. Bowling's regionals will be February 21st through the 25th. Coach Marty, we talked to him earlier, and they were down 11-8 right now, and they were going into the final match. Hopefully it's a Baker dozen or whatever he calls it, so that they can get 13 points. I hope that they could come back from that. I don't know how many they get from whatever that win would be.
He didn't sound optimistic in his text that he sent.
He didn't sound overly. He said we're going to the final match, but he may think that I just know how many points the final match is. Marty, the answer is no. I don't know. I'm sorry, buddy. And I know we've been sitting here, but I don't know per se. All right, but. I don't know. I want to go off script just a little. You ready?
Yeah.
The cheer. We talked about competitive cheer, and I know that it was a young lady that followed us on Local Sports Wrap-Up. She was a big competitive cheer person, and she even told us the reasoning, the score, and how they keep it. So this is for this young lady, right? The competitive cheer. It was, and it was the upset. We talked about the dark horse, and I talked about the underdog. Carlson, even though they were hosting the tournament, they actually won, right, against two-time state champ, back-to-back state champion, Allen Park. And the score odds is, you got to hear this. You ready? Yep. 781.34. 781.34. That's the winning. And Allen Park scored 780.7. So they're less than a half a point between these two teams. Now Carlson's no slouch. Let's make it clear. Last year they were runner-up in Division II for the state championship, and Allen Park won Division I.
Okay.
Back to back. All right. So they end up fighting it out, and 0.5 kind of was the difference between. And Bears fans, you can hold your head really high too, because Wyandotte came in third, and they scored 761.74. So they were locking and loading, and they were getting it right?
Yeah, and I think, that's, I don't know the scoring system, but I'm imagining that a lot of the scoring, kind of like in gymnastics, is simply based on poise and execution, completing a turn.
Yes.
And man, that wasn't a lot of daylight between first and second.
No, that had to be awesome, but and you feel kind of bad for those girls that lost by less than half a point. Good news is this was only for the Downriver, right? And both teams have an opportunity to win the state championship in their respective classes. But that's one to go see. Hey, we should maybe stream that on our cable. If we can, that'd be
depends where they're holding
phenomenal.
it.
Yeah, it was in Carlson. I don't know if that's feasible, but that's a great score. I thought that would take precedence over some of the other stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
And then we kind of alluded to our growing up and liking wrestling, right?
Oh yeah.
We admitted to.
That was off camera, wasn't it? We got to talking last week.
Yeah.
About pro wrestling. Yeah.
So in wrestling, recently. Romulus.
Amateur wrestling. Let's high school athletics.
Or yeah,
we don't want to confuse anybody.
Style,
Right, there you go.
Olympic style
Yeah.
wrestling, right? Romulus Summit actually won the district title, and they beat Gabriel Richard. So that was good for Romulus Summit. I guess bittersweet for Gabriel Richard. They made it to the finals, and they didn't actually get a chance to win. But Andre the Giant must have showed up for Romulus Summit.
Yeah, they channeled his spirit. Yeah.
Just the spirit. You know, so that's good. We got some wrestling winners. We got some, and here's a little more wrestling. And these are other district winners. I wanted to talk about Summit, but District 123, Fortson, they beat up on Edsel Ford 60-16. It seems like that's going around for Edsel Ford a little bit, basketball, wrestling. Lincoln Park, they lost to Dearborn 42-22 in District 123. So as it looks like, it'll be Dearborn versus Fortson for 123's district title. And then in 124, Belleville, they beat Wyandotte by 7. My daughter would say, "Go Tigers." She graduated from, one of my daughters graduated, Kenyatta graduated from there. And then Belleville beat Woodhaven 45-36, so they must have already won that district.
With a rare loss.
Yeah, they had to go down. Yeah, it was too bad. Other districts that are close to us, Allen Park beat up on Dearborn Heights, Annapolis, 72-9. Must have pinned them a lot. And then Allen Park took that momentum into Melvindale and beat them 66-6. So it looks like Allen Park's really a tough team in wrestling.
Yeah, they're feeding those kids something.
Oh, God. And that means every division. So from 90 pounds soaking wet to 250 pounds, they beat up on them. And then you got Trenton beat Riverview 72-12. And then Trenton went ahead and took the district, it looks like, against Southgate 43-31. Kind of surprised. I didn't see, oh, there they go. Wyandotte lost to Belleville. Yeah, no, that's too bad. Well, wrestling's coming to regionals really quick. So that was the district piece. And then if you look at districts, regionals is tomorrow. So you can catch the regionals on February 15th. And then the finals will be the 24th through the 25th.
Well, and if you're looking for some action on the ice tomorrow, Yak Arena, they're doing what they call Neon Night. I think from what Coach DeSena said yesterday in the Bears Den, this is the second year they're trying it. He's got a bunch of black lights. So in between intermission, lights are off, black lights on. They're encouraging people to bring their glow-in-the-dark face paint, glow sticks. I think they're going to be selling light up or neon glasses.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a fun time.
Man, I say do it. And if they could, they should try to get as many people from the student body to participate, almost giving them extra credit for going, right?
He had mentioned some outreach to the student body. You know what's neat about it, though? He's trying to replicate more of a professional level feel, because he mentioned, pro teams come out with the lights out, and there's the whole light show, lasers, and but in particular, like the black light angle or the neon angle, I think is really neat, because this current season, all the teams, they have what they call their reverse retro jerseys. So each team has a jersey that's kind of an amalgamation, something representing history of hockey in their area. And one of the interesting notes was the Vegas Golden Knights, who of course have only been around 5 years. Right. So it's like, how are they going to do a reverse retro jersey? So a team like them, they kind of just took the concept to their geographic area. They kind of played to the history of Vegas. And one of the coolest things in their jersey is that it glows in the dark. So when they come out, there's certain features that are glowing as they hit the ice.
No, that's sweet.
So that's cool, yeah.
No, and see, I can picture it. Those little those, little choke chains or little necklaces and bracelets and different stuff that your kids make you buy as soon as you go to the carnival. Everybody's getting, as soon as it turns dark, all of a sudden they come from nowhere. You're like, we got to get out of here. I'm going to have to buy a bunch of those.
Yeah, it does look really cool, and it all glistens off the ice. A few years back when we were still covering the ice show at Yak Arena, they did a carnival theme. And that ice company, I forget which company it is, but they put on a great show. We'd show up with our cameras, and the production value just popped because they've got professional lighting, and then the skaters have been training for, I imagine, months. They got the music, so yeah, it was really kind of like a carnival atmosphere. And I imagine tomorrow night at the Yak with neon nights in full effect, it might be similar.
Man, I love the idea. Like I said, the only thing that would make it even, the only thing to enhance it would be somehow making sure that the student body could come out and support, because I think that that's a cool thing. And what we know from when we went to the game, there's so much excitement built up in people, and they're looking for something to cheer about. And then now I got on the lime green or the orange thing. I think I'm run out there and play goalie a little bit.
Yeah, and teenagers, they got endless energy.
Sure.
I wish I could have bottled my own and maybe used it over my lifespan a little more judiciously.
Yes, sir.
But I remember being at the Yak a few years back, and it wasn't a playoff game, but it was a rivalry game between Wyandotte and was it Trenton or Southgate? Went to overtime, but the stands were pretty full, and Bears won in overtime. And sporting events, they're not the same without the crowd. We saw it during COVID.
Sure.
I mean, my God, the leagues, I had forgotten about this, and I was looking at a hockey card recently. You remember when the sports leagues were putting cardboard cutouts in the stands? They were pumping in sound, doing everything they could to replicate that crowd effect.
You're right.
There's really, the crowd is part of the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're looking for something to do tomorrow, get on out there to Neon Night and have a good time.
Yeah, and I would encourage some of these teachers, give them extra credit for going to the hockey game. If they can prove they went, give them extra credit.
Yeah, not hard to prove nowadays. They'll all take selfies. It'll be all over social media.
All over, No, that'd be a good idea. As far as hockey, though, I know on the Bears Den that they talked about it a little bit, but this is the first time that they'd really been over 500 in some time.
Yeah, and pretty remarkable accomplishment considering the deficit of players. I believe they said their current record was 13-11, and it had been 7-8 years since. I don't know if it was. I'm guessing a team, it had to be at a certain point in the season.
Sure.
Was over 500. So. Yeah, Coach DeSena seems to be having the program moving in the right direction.
Just peeking at the notes, I know that they have 2 goalies and 12 skaters, and they have not a bunch of people playing right now. And then they had 2 guys that were hurt, but they were potentially coming back for the playoffs. So,
yeah, and playoffs start, I believe, next Wednesday, if I remember the date correctly, in Trenton.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see I see swimming and diving in the Lower Peninsula starts March. It'll be March 2nd. Will be the regionals, but I don't see hockey. We'll take your word for it. So next week.
You had a good swimming story once. You remember that?
Yeah, it's terrible. Swimming. Swimming's not. Even though I'm a Pisces, I'm not a fish, right?
Right.
So we're 14 years old. We're at a state tournament playing baseball. And these girls, what a 14-year-old boy would want, right? They say, let's swim out to the dock. And it's like a little pier out in
And you're in the UP, right?
I'm in the peninsula. We're in Escanaba, Michigan. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. So we're chasing these girls. My whole baseball team's there.
Now, you knew you couldn't swim, right?
The fact is that I can swim in a swimming pool.
Okay.
All right? And it's you're going to see, it's got to be all in here, right?
Okay.
So I'm swimming, boom, boom, boom. And then out of nowhere is this girl, young girl, because we were both young at the time. She says, the water's got to be 30 feet now. Whoa. My body just said, what? Why are we out here? What reason are we going out there? It's 30 feet.
And she could have been completely wrong.
And she was guessing, but she seemed right. She was from there.
Okay.
And then I just started going back. My buddy to this day, Jerry Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Rose, if you're watching, I love you. Jerry Rose, he comes to me. He says, Ken, you okay? I said, I just want to go back. But I grabbed him, pulled him under the water. Jerry says, hey, I'm not helping you if you grab me again. I said, I won't grab you. I won't grab you. And so he put me on my back and kind of got me to walking. And then he swam back out where the girls were. And I walked to the beach by myself. But I was alive. I couldn't even imagine telling my parents. I saw my life flash, bro. It was crazy. I was 14 years old. Escanaba, Michigan. Wow, you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I got a memory.
That is
crazy.
crazy.
I was telling that story the other day. I don't even know how it came up.
No, man, it was worse. That would have been terrible. My coach made us run, because we were out hanging out and all that. But it was a good time. I learned that I can swim in a pool because I know how deep it is, and if you tell me that's 12 feet, I can get to the bottom. I can push up. Something about 30 feet just threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Wow. Happy Valentine's Day. That's a Valentine. That's a memory that'll keep giving.
Yep.
You know. But no, it's been fun.
It's always fun.
We look forward to getting the results from next week. As far as on the basketball, we'll get more information about the wrestling, and we'll get we'll make sure that we can find out a little more about that cheer competition if she hits us at Local Sports Wrap Up. But we'd like to thank you for being with us today, and we appreciate you. All right.